Hey, so good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Don.
And we're going to talk about the regional ministry model that's in the proposal for Reunified Diocese of Wisconsin. So I think the first thing I want to ask you is, what are the obvious things that this regional model helps with?
Sure. From a purely functional level, there are a number of ways that this regional model helps to pull the larger proposal together. It begins with just the functionality of relationship with the bishop and bishop visitation by using the historic model of the bishop making Sunday visitations parish by parish exclusively. We would be looking at a 2.5 to 3 year spacing between having the bishop in any one of our parishes. What this model allows for is twice a year having the bishop and parts of the bishop's staff in our regional area twice a year, which would allow for then a 4 or 5 day stay, which opens up the door for regionally based mission action team trainings, regional clericus, regional visitations, regional dinners, regional confirmations and receptions. It really brings the bishop and their office close to our parishes on a frequent basis, which makes that lag between Sunday in parish visitations a whole lot easier to manage. But it also opens the door for all sorts of other gatherings on a regional level. So parishes within the region might be called together for safe church training, for example, or for anti-racism training, but also will be given the opportunity to work with each other in ministries and celebrations that are particular to a given parish. If a parish is having a 150th anniversary celebration, for example, it's a wonderful opportunity to pull other parishes that are near them together to make it much more of a regional celebration than just a local celebration.
So, what were some of the guidelines in drawing the current draft regional lines? We know that this is something that may yet change, but there's some guiding principles to the way they're drawn currently. What are those?
Yeah, absolutely. It started with the size, with making sure that we were keeping it to 20-ish parishes in each, just to make the gatherings sort of maintainable. But then, of course, it's driven, as so much is in the state of Wisconsin, by manageable travel. Right, in the Milwaukee metro area, we could have had 30, and it isn't too far of a drive to get from one end to the other. But you get up into the Northwest, the Southwest, the Northeast, and it begins to get pretty difficult, especially 4 or 5 months out of the year, to travel for regional gatherings in any way. So it started with the size thing, but it also, we were very conscious to make sure that it also maintained a sense of sort of regional identity that in a lot of ways, especially in the case of the Diocese of Eau Claire, maintains a lot of the historic diocesan lines. But also beyond that regional identity, also played into some of the experiences and the particular history of parishes, even within their old dioceses. And so there was a sense of maintaining and building on existing relationships between parishes, while also intentionally shaking up some of those relationships to create some new relationships as well.
And of course, there's a budget component of this. It's not just that we're going to divide the state up into these regions and just, leave the regions to organize for themselves. Can you talk a little bit about the regional missioners as part of this model?
Yeah, the regional missioners are going to be responsible for an awful lot of things in under this model. They are not going to function like a historic dean of a deanery or a convocation in the way that most of us have known it in our current diocese. Canon missioners or regional missioners are going to wind up being responsible for coordinating a lot of gathering in the diocese. They'll be responsible for coordinating the mission action team trainings that might come into the region, and also all sorts of regional celebrations that might come up. But they're also going to be called to have regular contact with the people of that region in the form of clericus probably for clergy people, gathering the clergy people together on a regular basis, but also checking in with wardens and lay leaders in parishes on a regular basis as well, every month, every 2 months, whatever's sort of necessary, depending on the context of that parish. They're also going to be a quick access point for clergy and lay members of their region, not in the sense that that regional missioner is someone that you have to go to if you have a question, but is someone who you can go to who can direct you to the right person. So there'll be more of an advocate, not a bottleneck for diocesan service or contact, but an advocate that can help connect you to the best people we have in the entire state to aid in your discernment or difficulties that come up on a parish level.
How important do you think this regional model is to the moving forward of the gospel in Wisconsin?
I think in many ways it is crucial. This part of the larger proposed model, it also allows for so much more fellowship without adding administrative constraints. But it also, in a very important way, provides an opportunity for us to make sure that there are regional voices in diocesan governance, so that in any one particular part of the varied demographic of the state of Wisconsin, we'll have voice and directive in the Executive Council, the Standing Committee, the Commission on Ministry, all of the important governance bodies of the diocese, to make sure that we are not focusing our ministry objectives on things that might be particularly good for one part of the state, but relatively unsuccessful in other parts of the state.
Well, thanks for talking through all of that, Aaron. It's been a great conversation this morning, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. So,
my pleasure, Don. Thank you.